Thank you very much. The honor for me to stand here to presentation about National Archives of the Republic of Indonesia experiment in conduct the archival advocacy. I'm sure that some of you have ever come to the National Archive of Indonesia, and we welcome, very welcome to all of you if you will come to our office. We have around 16 buildings in this office. Okay, I will talking about a little about Indonesia. Indonesia, as a big country, has more than 17,000 islands, and most of them has already have name and coordinate. You can imagine if you spend one day or one night in one island, so you will take 46 years to cross whole of the world, all of the Indonesia. Nice picture, okay. And Indonesia have 34 provinces and 517 municipal or cities. You can see the logos of all provinces in the picture. So it would be our target of archival advocacy program. And also, Indonesia has various tribes, culture, traditional custom, language, etc. As like other countries, Indonesia has national archives, referred to UNRI, has tasked to keep and preserve the archives. And according to the law number 43, year 2009, UNRI as non-ministerial government institution carry out on records and archives national administration. And based on the law number 23, year 2014, archives and records is mandatory task for province and municipal or cities. UNRI has vision and mission. The vision is making archives as a unifying nation node in the framework of unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia to be achieved in 2025. And National Archive of the Republic of Indonesia also have a mission. We have 5 missions, and I emphasize the 4th and the 5th mission. They have related with our discussion today. That mission, preserving archives as collective memory and giving access archives to the public. Sorry. And National Archive of Republic Indonesia keep various of archives. For example, textual, we have almost 30 kilometers. We have also photos, poster, microfilms, and other format.
So my paper presentation will cover some of the archival advocacy initiatives at the National Archives, or NAS for short. The National Archives of Singapore, like most of your national institutions, we are also the keeper of records of national or historical significance to Singapore from both the public agencies and private sources. And the NAS has been part of the National Library Board, or NLB, since 2012. The conference team, Archives Advocacy in Southeast Asia, Heritage and Inspiration, is actually very relevant to us at NAS and in NLB because advocacy is actually one of our key competencies and future enablers. But before I go into the programs and initiatives that NAS has embarked on to promote archival advocacy, I think it's timely to address the question of archival advocacy itself. What does archival advocacy mean at the institutional level and as an individual level as an archivist? Datuk Azmi actually defined advocacy in his opening address this morning, and there are many, many definitions of archival advocacy. So I'm going to take the very ordinary approach. I'm just going to take it from the dictionary, which defines advocacy as a person who pleads, intercedes, or speaks for or on behalf of another to defend, maintain, publicly recommend, or raises his or her voice on behalf of a proposal or a tenet. So some of the questions that I think we as archivists should address is that, what are we advocating for? Are we advocating for the importance of the archives in general and to get more funding? Or are we advocating for the importance of our profession? Or are we being involved in specific issues that are relevant to us as archivists? So advocacy is different for everybody. So the challenges that we face at our respective institutions are different because every situation is different, and what works in one instance may not work in another. So effective advocacy is not just about asking for more support or funding, although that is very important to support our work, or to explain the benefits of the archives. I think the key message here is to focus on the value of the archives. And in NAS, advocacy is raising the level of public awareness about who we are and what we do. And we do this through embracing web technologies and new media platforms to get the information about what we have into the places where people can find it. So after the users have found the information that interests them, whether it's on the YouTube, Flickr, Google search, blog, or any other social media platforms, we need to make it easy for them to interact with us and to find out more. So instead of managing users with unrealistic expectations, we need to be thinking about how we should meet their expectations, not to change them. And we also need to demonstrate relevance on the user's terms. If not, we should not expect them to care about the archives. So in short, it's not about how great our collections are at the archives, but how the archives can contribute to people's success. So one of the most recent initiatives that we have embarked on is called The Stories of Yesteryear, Singapore in the 1960s. This year, the National Archives, like Sapika, we also celebrate our 50th year anniversary, but also 50 years of continued efforts to make the nation's historical collections and resources available to everyone and bring history to life for the present and future generations. So to widen public access to our archival materials and to encourage greater discovery of audiovisual records, we collaborated with our main broadcaster, MediaCorp, to stream video content on Toggle for free public access. So this collaboration actually brings our audiovisual records, which was produced in the 1960s, particularly the Berita Singapura News Magazine's film, back to our homes and personal viewing screens, which is an experience shared by Singaporeans who lived in the 1960s. So just a brief introduction. The Toggle platform is actually MediaCorp's digital entertainment service, which brings video on demand, TV, live sporting action, and entertainment news to viewers across multiple devices, such as the mobile devices, computers, smart TVs, Apple TV, and Chromecast. So during the 1960s, the Berita Singapura films, which were then produced by the Ministry of Culture, they were screened in cinemas with the aim of promoting awareness of the economic and social cultural developments of Singapore, because we have a large migrant society. And after Television Singapura was launched in 1963, all these films were also shown on television. The Berita Singaporean films shed light on nation building and the common experiences of Singaporeans. They were produced in the 4 main official languages, in English, Mandarin, Malay, Tamil, and also in the Hokkien and Cantonese dialects. We launched this actually on the 31st of May, 2018, so this has been ongoing for the last 4 months. So I'm going to just play a 30-second trailer from the stories of yesteryear.
Raffles Place, once called Commercial Square, has long been known as the centre of Singapore's business area.
Experiences shared by Singaporeans in the 1960s.
There was a time when if you wanted to pay your bill for gas, electricity and water, you had to go to City Hall and stand in line for a long time to do it.
The National Archives of Singapore brings history to life. Stories of yesteryear. Now on Toggle.
So the theme running through the Berita Singapore series is actually about the city landscape in the 1960s. It's about everyday life. It's about public events and services and leisure activities, things that ordinary Singaporeans participated in back then. So why did we choose the 1960s? Because we felt that it would be very interesting to showcase that period to our audience, because a lot of them would not have or would have very little memories of that period in time. And also because we want to show images from the past, showing how people lived and their common experiences. And also it is actually a very good reflection of our migrant population and linguistic diversity in the 1960s. So a little bit about the statistics. So as I mentioned before, this has been going on for about 4 months now, since June to September. So we have about almost 17,000 unique visitors to the Toggle platform and 51,000 video views in the last 4 months. And this is actually quite a very good figure for us, because this 4 months, right, the figures is actually more than 3.5 times more than the page views that we get on our website, the Archives Online, for the Sounds of Yesteryear. And it also compares well with the viewership of Media Corps' long-running current affairs series, Talking Point 2018, which received about 26,000 unique visitors and 49,000 video views in the same period. So the stories of yesteryear actually received a higher number of video views than Talking Point in the month of September. So it shows that we have kind of taken the right approach in venturing outside our specialized domain of National Library, National Archives, to stream our audiovisual content onto the national platform in Toggle. Some interesting statistics also. The stories of yesteryears, a majority of our viewers are aged 35 and above, and 57% of them were born after 1970, which means that most of them would not have known what Singapore was like in the 60s. And very interestingly, 59% male, which according to Media Corps is a little bit unusual, because on the Toggle platform, majority of the viewers are female. So it seems that we have attracted quite a substantial number of male followers on our Archives at Toggle. The next project that I want to talk about is called the Citizen Archivist project. or CA for short, as we called it. This is actually essentially a crowdsourcing partnership between National Archives of Singapore and the members of the public. So what we are essentially doing for the Citizen Archivist project is that we are actually calling for the public's help to help us to transcribe and describe the extensive records that are found in NAS. And this collective efforts of the Citizen Archivists to help NAS ensure that our records are properly indexed and more searchable. So the primary objective of the CA is really to transcribe the street settlement documents and photographs that have little or no description. And we are actually appealing to members of the public for help. Because of our limited manpower resources, it would take us a very, very long time to transcribe and to describe all these records and photographs. And this idea was actually supported by the National Library management and especially our director. So the Citizen Archivist project was launched in 2015. So I'm just showing you a screenshot of our homepage. And if you see at the bottom half, the users can log in and also choose to do whatever task that they want to do, and which is to describe the photograph or to transcribe the documents. And this is an image of a photograph. So if they find something that they are interested in, they can select that item, log in, and then type in their inputs. So the main activities on the Citizen Archivist project is tagging, transcribing, and adding comments. This is a sample of a letter written during Raffles administration of Singapore. So similarly, for documents, they can view the item in the window and transcribe it in the accompanying text box on the right-hand side. So it works exactly like the Wikipedia. So whenever a user logs in and types in the inputs, it is immediately online. They can save it or submit it for review if they complete it. If they choose to save it, what happens is that other people can come forward to edit or to complete the transcribing or the description. If it is submitted for review, then it's closed off. So once it's reviewed, we will mark that as complete, and this is reflected online. So this is actually an example of a photograph that has been described by one of our users. Also another one of the photo of a post office, which was also contributed by another user. And letters. That have been transcribed. So these are fully accessible on the Archives Online website. So since 2015, right? So this is what the statistics that we have till the end of September. You will find that if you look at the numbers, especially the ones at the bottom which says transcribing documents, that transcription is actually more popular than the description. So that averages we have about 28,000 so far transcribed documents. So that works out to be about 26 documents a day. And the number of items that are contributed, both photographs as well as transcription of records, that number is now about 29,000. So for the last 3 years, we have made continuous improvement to the Citizen Archivist page. We have added more pages to transcribe. And we also have added new features based on user feedback and with our top contributors where applicable. The last one that I want to show you, this isn't considered an archival advocacy initiative, but I thought it would be interesting to showcase it to you because it does give us an idea on how we can expand that effort and that outreach further. So this is a documentary that was recently screened on Channel News Asia, which is called Into the Vault, and which features the National Archives of Singapore, and also a little bit about the National Library. We were actually approached by a production company called Paddling Pictures to do this documentary. And it was really guerrilla filmmaking at its best because this was done within the space of 2 weeks. There were like 4 episodes, 4 stories to tell. I was actually at one of the locations for episode 1 where the filming was done. So the 4 stories are actually talking about Singaporeans going on a quest to find answers that lie deep within the National Archives. And the storyline is, who is the mysterious woman who sang a goosebump-inducing song about Hitler during World War II? The second story was about why was an ordinary Malay man invited to attend the King of Coronations with a war hero? And then what is the story behind the curiously named 100-year-old music score, Chu Chin Chow? And the last story, what can a lost rambutan orchard tell us about the past? The first episode, Finding Miss Fadila, was screened on 5th of September 2018, and the last episode, episode 4, Notes from the Past, that was aired on 26th September 2018. And you can view all these episodes, they are about 45 minutes in duration, on the channelnewsasia.com website. They are fully accessible. So what I'm going to show you, this is actually a screen capture from episode 1. So what I'm going to do is to play a short montage for episode 1.
Kepuasan Hitler sudah tertentu. Kepuasan Hitler was a song that I discovered when I was doing research on recorded Malay music from the 30s and the 40s. And I chanced upon it on the Sound of Yesteryears, this initiative by the National Archives, where they restored like old shellacs, like old records. And I was very surprised and quite shocked when I found it. It's like, is this song in Malay sang by Miss Fadila, released in 1940? My mind was blown. So she was singing about all the atrocity of Hitler. And this was in 1940, before the war. I'm Amit Shankar, the audio wizard at the National Archives who's responsible for rescuing old shellacs, the predecessor of the vinyl record. I want to find out more about Miss Fadila and if they have any more of her songs.
A lot of scratches you can see, so I remove the mold first, then I'm able to digitize the file. Once the digitization is done, you're able to see the metadata, the information of the record. Yeah, this is the story of the shellac.
Mazlan is a senior librarian here and an expert in Singapore's printing press history. He might be able to provide context to the articles I uncover.
We were established in 1979, and so we have the statutory mandate to collect the history of Singapore through oral history methodology.
Mark is a specialist who conducts these interview recordings.
Okay, stop the video.
Since the coronation was such a big event, it must be recorded in the newspapers or newspapers.
So if you're interested in watching the other episodes, please go to channelnewsasia.com. Okay, so lastly, I want to extend a warm invitation to all the delegates here and your colleagues to Sabika 2019. We are hosting that in Singapore in June 24th to 28th next year. And the theme of the conference is Rethinking Archives, Reframing Boundaries, Imagining Possibilities. We are actually accepting papers proposal. So if you need more details and information about registration and any other details, please go on to the website here. I'm not sure it can be clearly seen, but it's www.sabikasymposium2019.net. So we hope to see you next year in June 2019. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the National Archives of Thailand, I will be a representative to present our work of the National Archives of Thailand. I will call it short at NAT, N-A-T. I will start my presentation on the definition. Maybe it's different from the definition that you heard in this morning. This is from the SAA, or Society of American Archivists. Archival advocacy means activity consciously aimed to persuade individual or organization to act on behalf of program or institution. You will see this the term that's defined by the SAA. But moreover, archives advocate when they undertake specific action to justify their existence, to fulfill that mission, and to expand their influence. Advocacy can take place within the context of single institution, a community, a state, a nation, or even cross-nation. Advocacy is integral to all aspects of archival work, not only activity or program, but also small action. What kind of small action? Such as interaction with a researcher that can affect on archival program reputation. Maybe you don't know who is your researcher. They may be a very important person from the big company that can support you, that can support your work. That I will give you example next. So you will see that it's very important for the National Archive to advocate. We move to archival outreach. The meaning of archival outreach is defined as the process of identifying and providing service to constituencies with needs relevant to the repository's mission, especially underserved groups, and tailoring service to meet those needs. So what kind of the outreach activity? Outreach activity may include exhibit, workshop, publication, and educational programs. Archival advocacy and archival outreach are connected to each other. Sometimes you might give some detail that which one is the advocacy, which one is outreach. They both share similar method and goal. It is difficult to separate the two terms of what they ultimately do for professionals provide in structure and survival. As archive, so how should we start advocacy and outreach? It's very easy because we are an archivist and we are in the same group of ICA. So you can use Universal Declaration on Archive on UDA. Universal Declaration on Archive serves as a basis of advocacy and promotion to support archives and professionals by providing useful advocacy talking points that can also be understood by non-archivists, and is a key pillar to ICA's outreach and advocacy strategy and has been endorsed by major archival associations around the world. You can follow this UDA. Archive undertake to work together in order that appropriate national archival policy and laws are adopted and enforced. Second, the management of archives is valued and carried out competently by all bodies, private or public, which create and use archive in the course of conducting their business. Third, adequate resource and allocate to support proper management of archives, including employment of trained professionals. Archives are managed and preserved in ways that ensure their authenticity, reliability, integrity, and usability. Archives are made accessible to everyone, while respecting the pertinent laws and the rights of individuals, creators, owners, and users. And the last one is archives are used to contribute to the promotion of responsible citizenship. You can see that what archives should undertake as the repository of the nation from UDA. Because archival records ensure the protection of citizen rights, accountability of organization and government, and accessibility of historical information. So, archival professionals must take an active role in advocating for the public policy and resources necessary to ensure that these records are preserved and made accessible. Please remind that because we are on the archives community. So from the UDA, I will summarize in the 4 main topics. First, legislation for records and archives. Second, records management and archive administration. Third, promote the use and understanding of historical records. And last, making archives accessible for everyone. And from that topic, I will tell you about now what the National Archive of Thailand have done. First, the legislation for records and archives. The legislation is the first priority for that. Although the National Archive of Thailand was established in 1916 as a section of Wachiria National Library or Library of Bangkok, and has become a function as a division of Fine Art Department since 1952. But that was responsible its duty according to the Prime Minister Office regulation on record management. What does this mean? It means that we did not have an appropriate national archival policy and law were adopted and enforced for our mission. We are aware of the importance of record management and archive administration as the backbone of the country. Therefore, we have tried to push a draft of the National Archive Act into the legislative process. And it has taken a very long time through many procedures, more than 20 years. And in the end, the first National Archives Act, BE 2556 or 2013, was enacted in 2013. We just have the National Archive Act. The reason for promulgating the Act are archives records represent information and explain facts, including events that have happened in the past. The safekeeping and preservation of such record in proper or less they match condition and materials, cultural heritage having historical value for the nation. Therefore, it is important. It is expedient to provide a system for safekeeping, preservation, and safeguarding of archives, as well as establish a national archival repository for safekeeping, preservation, and provision of public service relating to the education, study, or research of archives. It is therefore necessary to enact this act. With this act, so now NAT had an authority and function to administer records and archives and set up standards related to record management of government agency. Moreover, archives are managed and preserved in ways that ensure their authenticity, reliability, integrity, and usability. Now, regulation related to the acts are being in progress because we have to change some regulation to according to the National Archives Act. Now we move to the second, record management and archive administration. After the National Archives Act was enacted, NAT has conducted many seminars on record keeping for government agency and promote the National Archives Act at the same time. Pilot project of record retention schedule with government agency has started and will be expanded to other agencies. At the same time, archivists were trained in archives administration to enhance their knowledge, such as training course and workshop on oral history for archivists in the southern branches of Thailand. Moreover, training course project for archivists is preparing this year to fulfill and gain knowledge in many fields of records and archives. And this year we have a project to take our staff to be trained for the restoration of textual archives here. You will see next we will expand our project to the government agency in retention schedule and also training course that I have told you that advocacy is not only the activity, but also the education, training. Now, we move to the third, promote the use and understanding of historical records. What we use? We use the website and Facebook because they are user-friendly and accessible. This is our website. Because our target is Thai people, so the website is in Thai for Thai people to access to some content. Website and Facebook were tools used to promote the use and understanding of historical records. As I told you, because they are user-friendly and accessible, NAT website is www.nat.go.th, which used to disseminating and introduce NAT collection. The website is also a channel for public and researchers to access some collection which already have been digitized and transferred to archival system database website that web content includes today in the past. Treasure from historical image collection. The content legacy and inspiration encourage the public to visit NAT and aware of importance of archives. Because most people are interested in the old photo, so we publish our collection on that. We also have some detail about the photo, some records, some description of the records inside, and this that you can search from our database. Just some some collection. And we also use Facebook Live. You can use Facebook Live for broadcasting your event. Because Facebook Live also used for broadcasting seminar and discussion forum which followers can watch and interact at real time. Because it is a feature on Facebook that can do live story on Facebook. By being a friend of user or who follow any pages and watch live event at the same time, utilize this to reach a new user and change how they interact with archival resources. When archives provide user access online content, whether viewing or interacting, it empowers them while creating an understanding for important archive to society. With cooperation of stakeholders and attempt of that, next collection were registered as the UNESCO Memory of the World. We have two collections. First collection is archival document of King Chulalongkorn's transformation of Siam, 1868 to 1910, registered in 2009. And second collection is the Royal Photographic Glass Plate Negatives, an original prints collection documentary registered in 2017. Royal Collection of glass plates hold more than 35,000 glass plate negatives and 50,000 prints covering a long and continuous period of 1855 to 1935. And to promote and celebrate the occasion, we choose the second collection to exhibit. The reason why, because it's easy for the visitor to understand or photograph than document. So that's the reason that we use the second collection. And we organize an exhibition. As I told you earlier, some researcher maybe support you. One of our researcher, he is the advisor of the big company, Thai Beverage, Public Limited Company. This is, we know about the Thai Beverage, better known as the Thai Bev. It is Thailand's largest and one of the Southeast Asia largest company. So they support us to celebrating this occasion, support us to organize the exhibition. And also the Sirivattana Phakdi is the one of the unit under the Thai Bev. So we hold this one, and this is a box of glass plate negative. It's just example. The exhibition organized during 25th of May until 28 July 2018. The show brought together an impressive collection of 150 photographs selected from the collection. Okay, invitation of some celebrity to your event is more interesting for the media. Remember, please invite some celebrity to your event. Throughout the 2-month period, various programs were held during periods. Every Saturday and Sunday, the Chaya Nitikorn Photo Studio organized a photo shot for visitors in the Thai tradition costume. Chaya Nitikorn Photo Studio is very famous. It's the charity unit under Thai Bev. So this is example of the photo that we show in our exhibition. This is a shoot in Selangor. Okay, this is the same example of the Chaya Nitikorn shooting studio. The visitor also come to, some people just want to take a photo shot. Most of them want to visit our exhibition, but some of them, after shooting the photo, they come to visit our exhibition. So it's so easy that to promote the National Archives to set up some special activity. Do you remember who is it in the photo? Maybe she's so beautiful, so you cannot remember. It's me. Beautiful. And we also have some workshop on how the glass plate negative function with the wet colliding method that conducted by Pranakon Photo Club. Every Sunday, and the club donate the wet plates from the demonstration to NET. So in the next 100 years, we still have the glass plate negative collection that's shooting in this time, in the 2000 period. You will see all of them are in the traditional costume. This is a demonstration of glass plate. And other program, collector. I mean that if you organize the photo exhibition, the collector and history buff may gather to help you identify the photographs that you might not know the detail in the photographs. Moreover, seminar and discussion forum also held every Sunday, and total of visitors, more than 10,000 visitors come to visit the exhibition. The reason why, because in addition to interest of the event, the success of the event comes from a good public relation. A good public relation plan, it means that you can bring more media to your event, to promote your events. It is important to understand the different types of media, their deadline, the types of story in which they are interested, and to treat them with the respect that you would expect to receive if you were in that situation. Okay, to disseminate the collection, the publishing of the photographic book, the same name as the exhibition, also published. The book plays an important role in encouraging acquiring more knowledge about history and inspire more participants from public in helping preserve valuable documentary heritage for our generation. We also bought a book for the National Archive member in Asian country. It's quite heavy, but I hope you bring back to your country because it's too heavy for me to bring here. So that our collection can promote in your country by your archives. And lastly, making archive accessible to everyone to facilitate public user to make archive accessible for everyone. Information technology is used as a tool to utilize NET and public to access our collection. NET is conduct development archival service information technology system for public, and project is to develop software program for creating archive database and to digitize archival material and put it database so that user can access to some collection of us. Okay, this Archival Advocacy Outreach Program that undertaken by the National Archive of Thailand. Sorry for just the other one time. Thank you for your attention.
A pleasant good afternoon to everybody. Yes, first, I would like to extend regards of our Executive Director, Victorino Pamanalo. Thank you for inviting us again to this Sarbica 2018. Actually, I was with you 2014, so I'm still young then. So, okay. I'm getting out from the National Archives by 2019. So this is about the National Archives of the Philippines Advocacy Programs. I will just present some pictures about the National Archives of the Philippines accomplishments. With me is our Deputy Executive Director, Marietta Chu. Yeah, she's with me all the way until October 26. So this is my presentation. Okay, the mandate of the National Archives of the Philippines, twin functions of the National Archives of the Philippines, our main trust, and of course, our programs and the archival advocacy. Okay, so yes. Our Deputy Executive Director spearheaded the approval of what we call the Republic Act 9470. That's the National Archives Act of the Philippines in 2007. So it's a very long time. And it is about strengthening because the National Archives of the Philippines since then was created 1901. We have records dating back 1552, which I do not have the picture right now, but it's about the royal decrees of the King of Spain. So we have 18.8 million documents in the National Archives. Most of these are Spanish records of the reign of the Spanish colonialism. Okay, so what is this RA 9470? It strengthens our operations, the administration and management of archival records. And again, also, the purpose of this is to rename the National Archives of the Philippines. Okay, so it covers all what we call the public records, and these are with archival value. So the advocacy of this is all archival value records with the government agencies, national, local, state universities, hospitals, even the embassies and consulates, corporations and GFIs are under this Republic Act 9470. So again, it also includes our archival programs. And next, I will be showing you some of these programs that we have been catering to all the government people, employees of the government agencies, and even what we call the public, individual, and also the private individuals. Okay, so yes, the National Archives of the Philippines has twin functions. First, we have the records management. That is then the beginning of these records, the governance, the promotions, the transparency, and the effective information, what we have in the archives and what the agencies have in their custody. Then we have the other function, which is now the cultural. Cultural because we are promoting now the heritage collections of the National Archives and all over the Philippines. Okay, our main thrust, to enhance records management practices. Over the Philippines, we go out and we have to enhance what we call the standard practices and even what we call the practices that the national agencies has to enhance the stature of records managers. Records managers, records custodians, they do records keeping, and we have to empower them because in the Philippines, there are some records officers that they mean it like housekeeping jobs only for records management. So we have to empower them and to enhance the services delivery to all the clients of the National Archives of the Philippines, to promote the NAP or the National Archives collections. Like what I have said, we have 18.8 million documents wherein we can serve to all the clients of the National Archives locally and internationally. And to promote, of course, the national business continuity. And this is what we have now. We have to have what we call the records continuity if we have what we call the climate changes and also the armed conflict. Okay, programs. This is the programs for inclusion. Programs for heritage, programs for technology enhancement, and program for the challenge. So the National Archives has this for our archival advocacy. First, marginalization. Marginalization, why is it like this? Because we have to link the gaps of the history of the Philippines. We have to renew the linkages locally and internationally. So the loss of linkages means also the loss of the history of the Philippines. Okay, inclusion programs. We have the establishment of the local community archives. Again, in 2018, this was supported by Senator Ligarda, and we have done so much of this. We have the first one in Mayaoyao. I don't know if you know that geographically, but it's around somewhere in the north of the Philippines, where I came from. And of course, we have the vegan city. I think it's familiar, and because it's this a UNESCO heritage place declared. Of course, and then we have just gone to Aninii, Antique, that's far down south in the Visayan region, wherein we do these seminars, we do cultural mapping, we do oral history, and we collect data resources about the beliefs, the norms, and even simple recipes which the local people do, as in facing and everything they do about in the locality, wherein we collect this data, and probably in the near future, we'll see we have what we call the local community archives, wherein inclusion of all those local partners, indigenous peoples, and all of these within the locality. And also, here is a picture. It's about, I think it's about the Aninii. That's a heritage church of the local community archives in Aninii. Program for developing areas. Why developing? Because these are the areas wherein they cannot send participants to our regional seminar workshops. We do have modules, records management and archives management, but then these participants do not have what we call the budgets. So they will have to go. We are committed and do trainings in these areas. So again, if you see the picture right up, it's about the Banawe rice terraces. The Banawe rice terraces is one of the what we call declared as one of those treasures of the National Archives. And right down below are the pictures where we also collaborated with the local governments and also the indigenous peoples, because they have the beliefs, the cultures that is very rich in cultural heritage. Okay, so we have also programs for the heritage. That is the declaration of the Archival National Cultural Treasure, or what we call the NCT. It's linking the public with our archival heritage. The first one is the declaration of the University of Santo Tomas records in Baybayin. That's the Baybayin, and it is in 2014. So the Baybayin is the letter ABC, like writings, yes, the A, B, C, D, and F, G, and the alphabets of the Philippines. Now, Spanish documents also, that is within the National Archives of the Philippines, the Spanish document sections where we have so many Spanish documents, and it has been declared as a National Cultural Treasure in 2015. Now, in the National Archives of the Philippines is doing the inventory with the Nueva Segovia, that is within the Vegan City, a UNESCO Heritage Place, and it is with the church. So they are doing the inventory, we are doing the inventory, and sometimes in November 2018, this will be declared as the National Cultural Treasure. So we have some very, very cultural heritage records. Okay. We have also archival exhibits. Like other countries, we do exhibit because we do not put our collections just inside our archival storage areas. We go out and we put exhibits in different places of the Philippines. First, important highlights of those exhibits is the Confradia Comunidad. That is within the farther north, Lucena, or the Quezon province, wherein the owner of Villa Escudero was with this partnership, he allowed us to have an exhibit. And this exhibit is about using those spiritual images that will now go against what we call the Spanish colonialism within that place. So in that place, many students go there because this is a resort. So many people will be going there, and also together with this exhibit, they will come to know that there are records that are within the Quezon province. Okay, Talamdan is another exhibit that was in Bacolod City, far down north, middle, the Visayan Islands. This is about what we call the sugar industry. Collections of the National Archives of the Philippines in collaboration with the Negros Museum. We do have also exhibits there. So again, Talamdan, yes, it's about the sugar industry, how also the Filipinos are doing the industry before. And then we have also publications. Actually, there's also an exhibit, the conscription, imagining the Ilocano world. I'm an Ilocano, and I'm very sure the Ilocano, the ASEAN countries, probably some of these are also inscribed in this catalogo. We have books, yeah. Like I have said, the conscription, imagining and describing the Ilocano world. There was an exhibit, a big exhibit at our Metropolitan, attended by politicians all over the Philippines and also other foreign delegates. And this is now in publication. It was already in a book. And also Integration International, also in Cebu. Yes, also in the Cebu, the middle part. Now, other promotional materials, we have card sets we're giving to all the people that visited the National Archives. We have calendars and mugs also, so that they can also, and it's inscripted the collections of the National Archives. International cooperation and linkages. Yes, we have Serbica. We have also outside of the ASEAN countries, that is the ALA, or the Latin America, and also we are now doing what we have, the digitization with Mexico. So intense visit with the Archives of Singapore. Very welcome. The National Archives of the Philippines is always trying to go to the National Archives of Singapore. And also, we invite guests from the different countries. And the latest, yes, Spanish language program. Because we have collections, Spanish collections, we do have employees of the National Archives doing the Spanish program. So I cannot say, what can you say if it's Spanish? Hola. Okay, and then also, we have programs on technology and enhancement. The last time, and I'm very, very happy that we had invited 2 speakers from the National Archives of Malaysia. Thank you very much, because we have Ma'am Norehan and Ma'am Hemalata. So they're very good speakers, and we have learned a lot from them. It's about electronic records management. So we are now starting doing the electronic system. Digitization and conversion of Spanish records holdings locally and abroad. And also, we have the national inventory of these records. Concept of this is to link our records with other agencies under the National Archives and Records Management Information System. Yeah, and of course, we have many inventories now and ready for evaluation. Program for the challenge. Why challenge? Yes, the Philippines, though visited by so many typhoons. The worst one is in 2013, that's the Haiyan. That's in Tacloban City, where I am a part of the disaster assessment team. We went there, and the records was out, yeah, gone to the sea. They were all over the places, together with the computers and everything, the backup copies. So we do some seminar workshops there in order that the National Archives of the Philippines may restore or recover what we call the archival records. So we do manual, because we do not have what we call the equipment that we have to preserve or restore these documents. So we do some of this by manual restoration. So again, malasakit sa talaan, that's in Tagalog. Ito, yes, and malasakit sa bayan. So meaning, what's the meaning of that? Yes, we are concerned to our records, and we are concerned to the nation. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan selamat tengah hari. Good afternoon to all the speakers and also the audience. And for today, my presentations is about archival advocacy programs in Southeast Asia, archival institution, sharing the National Archive of Malaysia success story. First of all, I would like to give you a definition. Like all the speakers have given a definition, but a bit different. Archival advocacy is actions to promote and draw more people to archive, increase accessibility, generate understanding and awareness of archive, and the works of archivists amongst the general public, key decision makers, and other professions. And I have to go fast because I'm the last speaker. So the effectiveness of advocacy is to explain the benefit of using archive, holding organizations and government accountable, ensure historical informations and cultural memories remain accessible, disseminate information about what we have, that is archive. So I go to NAM's success story. To promote and draw more people to archive and increase usage of archival material, NAM has organized exhibitions. We have a lot of exhibitions being organized throughout the years. And we have also publicity through media and the uses of ICT tools like Facebook, Portal, or mobile application. And the uses of ICT tools to increase accessibility to archive. The National Archive has the system that we have, like we have Compass, we have OFA, and also we have web portal. This system is to use to retrieve archive, especially in our research room. The Compass is more for finding aids. It's a computerized finding aid system. And our OFA is online finding aids, the new system that the National Archive established to help the public to promote more archive. Then we have also the advocacy program is to generate understanding and awareness of archive. Where we to give understanding and awareness, we have to ask question: who we are, what we do, what service we offer, who we do it for, why we make a difference, and what it is for them. So to answer this question, the National Archive held or organized seminar, workshop, conferences, talks, publications, archive utilization, consultation clinics. All these programs we held international or national in the country. So I go for the advocacy also with the decision maker, meaning that general understanding on what the NAM does among key decision maker. We usually held briefing on the current work progress in the archive, lobbying, meeting with the top management in the ministry, develop and maintain good relationship, especially in lobbying for budgets or legislation, and also officiating at advocacy programs like event and program organized by NAM. And then general understanding on what the NAM does among other professionals, like academician or historian. Usually we are helping them in research or fact findings, curators, sharing expertise in exhibitions and preservations of artifacts, IT professional, sharing expertise and knowledge in developing system for both electronic record management and archive administration, journalists, gathering reliable evidence for reporting activities, publicizing and promoting archives to the public, private sector and NGOs. We have smart partnership in organizing, co-hosting program, and supporting private sector and NGO programs. General understanding on what NAM does among general public, we have outreach programs like exhibitions, organizing exhibition about significant people, event, places, history narration programs, like we have Bicara Toko or Kesan Sejarah, and then we have HRDS, Today's in History. A program has more than 100,000 listeners per year. We have other outreach programs like quiz as competitions among school and university, archive utilization and consultation clinic, where we organize consultation and hands-on sessions, how to conduct research using compass or manual finding aids, and using and handling archive. We have online finding aids, promotion, like using OFA, anytime, anywhere. Do primary search prior to visit, save time and expedite research. We have also school archive, where provide consultation to school, set up and preserve records important to history and growth to school. Guided tour, where we have visitor, visit to the National Archive, especially to conservation and reprographic session, research and access session, repository, and also the statement archive. We have also archive dialogues, that is discussion on to highlight or showcase content of significant archive and encourage widespread use of reference and research material. So I will go to one of our successful advocacy program, that is Hari in Dalam Sejarah, Today's in History. This HRDS is a truly iconic program. It's one of the most successful and longest advocacy and outreach program implemented by the National Archive. This program is synonymous with the National Archive of Malaysia. More Malaysians cherish the HRDS program and eagerly awaits to airing every day. It's lingered in our memories and close to our heart. Everybody in Malaysia know about this program. HRDS has popularized the National Archive. The objective of this program is to recall the nation's significant historical event, to foster the love for the nation, to instill patriotism among the Malaysians, to provide historical awareness and knowledge to all groups and levels of in the society. The genesis of the Today's History program. 1st January 1980, broadcast as a pioneer program for a month by Radio Television Malaysia, and on 31st December 1980, it halted temporarily, and it was resumed again in 1981 until today. And in 1981 also, the National Archive managed to publish first volume of the air script, and we have, at this moment, we have 7 volumes of the published HRDS. On the 1st December 1998, HRDS script can be accessed through the NAM homepage at www.archive. And then 2015, we have HRDS portal, was planned and developed and go live on the 1st November 2016, and today, as we officially launch for the mobile application. The main broadcast language, sorry. The main broadcast language for today's history is four main languages. It's Malay, English, Tamil, and Mandarin. Focus and coverage for the today's in history program is about the national politics since 1400s until today, economic matters, that is colonial period, Japanese occupation, post-independent, social development about education and culture, historical event about Malacca Sultanate, interventions of Western power, disturbance in the Malay states and the Second World War and independence. Online visitor at this moment in HIDS portal since its launch in 2016, total about 253,768. That is increasing the online visitor from time to time. The material upload into the HIDS portal, we have about 10,000 script of event. We have also documents, images, audios, and creative video. There is creative videos is about doodles, animations, and picture documentary. I show about a minute about the creative video.
The Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur. The Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur was officially declared on 1st February 1974 by the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Abdul Razak bin Hussein. It was a new era for the Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur, which came to be administered by the federal government as the federal capital for the country as a whole. Kuala Lumpur was declared federal territory after it was officially handed over by His Royal Highness, the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah Ibni Sultan Hishamuddin Alam Shah, to the federal government. The handover ceremony was held on January 28, 1974. The Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur Agreement was signed by the 5th Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Tuanku Abdul Halim Shah
Okay, that is about the creative video. So about the HIDS mobile application, developed in accordance with the current needs and rapid developments of ICT, adapted from the HIDS portal, maximum accessibility and information searching on the nation history, in accordance with the visions and missions of the National Archive of Malaysia, display significant information and events that occur every day in the country as a gateway to fast and easy access to the information. That is about HIDS. As a conclusion, advocacy, archival and record management issues do not attract much media attention, and as the consequence, are not high on the agenda of politicians and stakeholders. Although we know what an important job archivists and record managers do, we need to promulgate this to the world. We cannot wait for the world to come to us. We need to act proactively, focusing on the importance in protecting human rights, supporting accountability and transparent administration, protecting memories, and highlighting our profession relevance in today's digital society. Thank you.